Call to order this regular council meeting for the corporation of the township of Rudnell and Dalton Ragland. This fourth day of March 2026 at 7:02 p.m. As we gather this evening, I would like to acknowledge on behalf of this council and our community that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We would like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history. We are extremely grateful for the many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who've taken care of this land for thousands of years. Roll call, Councilor Banks.
Yes.
Councilor Capel. Here. Councilor Keller.
Here.
Councilor Clark.
Present.
We have a resolution to adopt the agenda that we, the council for the corporation of the township of Rudnell and Dalton Ragland, adopt the agenda as submitted, moved by Councilor Banks, seconded by Councilor Keller. Any comments, questions? All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed, none, the motion is carried. Any disclosure, pecuniary interest with anything on the agenda? Seeing none. Mayor's address, well, it was a busy month of meetings, being that we had 3 here and I had 2 or 3 at county council, so the only thing that's really coming up there right now is going to be the master transportation plan, and we're going to have to pay some attention when we get that. As soon as I get it, maybe I'll make sure everybody else gets a copy of it so you can look at it. Because we'll be having a special county council meeting to deal with that. So if you have any comments, it'd be good to know. The clerk's report, anything?
No, like I said, a busy month with meetings. I think Tammy has.
Yes, county would like to know if council wants a special meeting with them to present the comments that have been received so far. And to discuss potential changes to the draft bylaw. In order to have the revised draft or revision 2 of the draft available to the public prior to the public meeting in May.
What's council's opinion? I think so too, but I would like to see the list before, so we know.
Well, before the meeting, yeah.
Yeah, so before we meet with them, if they could give us the list and then
All the comments.
yeah, and then we can meet with them and go.
Yeah,
over
we got it
everything.
prepared.
Yeah, because if they just drop it on us at the meeting,
Yeah,
that's,
well, then we look here, then we have to go away until that again.
this way we can look at it and think about it.
At least for preliminary possible changes, it'll be a draft 2.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
No, that's good.
then you could receive more comments at the May public meeting.
Mhm.
Do it again and.
Sure.
They would prefer to meet on a Tuesday or a Thursday with a 6 p.m. start, if that's what you'd like, if possible.
It don't matter to me. I'm good on your day.
Okay.
Tuesday, then just pick a
What
date.
timeline would you like? How close to the public meeting? We need to allow them time to make the revisions and provide it to us to.
The public
has a
meeting
chance.
is what, the 13th of May?
Yeah.
So maybe in the latter part of April.
Mid to latter part, because they're gonna need time to make the changes in the bylaw that we want.
Yeah.
And then we need it available so people can see it before the public.
Yeah, so if it's the mid to later.
Yeah, when would they get us information that we can look at before we know?
I think she's got a lot of it compiled already.
Okay.
I can't say that for sure, but I understand.
Then probably get somewhere in the mid for us, right? Then they can go home.
You want to aim for April 14th? That's.
April 14th.
Week before April? We get the week before? Yes.
April 14th.
What if we did April 9th for Thursday? That way it's not the Tuesday after the long weekend.
Oh, yeah, okay, sure.
April 9th?
April 9th?
Better?
Sure, yeah, April 9th.
Yeah, that's good with me.
Okay.
At what time?
Thursday.
At what time though?
6.
6.
That's it. I was gonna let you run. I'll just have to make sure I'm not. April 9th at 6 P M for a special meeting with the county.
Mhm.
And this is not a public meeting, this is a meeting for them to present.
Yeah.
Lots of groups. Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, so is Natalie on board?
So it's gonna join us online, I think.
There we go. Helps if my video is on.
Hi, how are
Hi,
you?
how are you?
Good.
The good evening,
Thanks.
Mayor and councilors. Thanks for having me tonight. I'm sorry I'm not there in person. I wanted to talk to you about our 2025 statistics and review our budget plans for this coming year. Did you want to share my screen or
Okay. We got your screen.
can you see my presentation?
Yes,
Yeah,
okay.
yes, we can, yeah.
Great. So library visits continue to be strong and consistent. We average about 50 people per day and 1,000 people per month at the library. People come for many reasons, not just to borrow materials. Lots of people come just to use the public computers and the Wi-Fi and our printing and photocopying services. So it's important that people know you don't necessarily need a membership to come to programs and use the library, but a membership does give you some added benefits. Of our new memberships in 2025, 24 were from BLR. This is similar to last year's numbers. But for renewals, we had 51 renewals from BLR, which is an increase of 16% from 2025. This year for 2026, we did increase our fees for non-residents. It's now $45 per year per family, or $15 for 3 months per family. And in consultation with the Ontario Library Service, who collects data about the per capita funding, we felt that that increase was more in line with what taxpayers are contributing towards library services.
So our members don't pay the $45 fee though.
That's right. If you live in BLR, you're a property owner or a resident, you have a free membership for 1 year and it gets renewed every year, yearly.
Yeah.
So the non-residents would be people who live outside of the township, outside of Madawaska Valley, outside of BLR, or if sometimes we have cottagers that are up for the summer, they would purchase a non-resident membership. We do have people that live like in Killaloe or in Hastings, and they would also purchase a membership. So there continues to be strong usage of digital items, but people still like to borrow physical books and magazines. So those numbers continue to be strong. In our community, our residents are older than the provincial average and they have less access to the internet for various reasons. So they're still borrowing books and DVDs, even though the digital use is up as well. Our interlibrary loan numbers were down last year, and that's because of an ongoing technical issue with the new platform. Many libraries are experiencing this decrease in interlibrary loans, and unfortunately, it's out of our control. but our interlibrary loan librarian puts in a lot of extra work to manually respond to requests to make sure that we can keep offering this service to the community. We do continue to prioritize adding new items to our collections, and we do look for requests from residents and library users. In 2025, we added over $12,000 of new items to our collection. One of our strengths at our library is offering programming. We strive to offer the community programs for a variety of ages and interests. So you'll see last year we offered over 200 programs with over 3,000 people attending. In BLR, we offered 3 programs. We offer one during March break and 2 over the summer. And we had 17 children plus parents attend at March break. In the summer, the attendance was lower, but I know you had a tragedy in your community, so I think that affected our numbers. This year, we'll be offering the same programming. We'll continue, we will be there for March break again with the program. And then we'll plan some summer programming again as well. And I welcome feedback too on the programs and what people are interested in seeing us bring to BLR. When we looked at the social return on investment, the library provides almost $1 million worth of programs and services to the community. And I think our social return on investment is $6 as well. Computer use and Wi-Fi use is up 20% over last year. And so in 2026, we are looking to replace our public computers and get 4 new desktops. People prefer to use the desktops over the laptops, and we need to upgrade our computers to be Windows 11 compatible. So we're looking, right now we have 3 public computers and we're looking to acquire a 4th. So we'll have 4 brand new computers, and we are fundraising to purchase those computers. Each computer is approximately $1,050. And on top of that, we would pay Valley Bytes, our tech support company, for installation. More and more at the library, we're offering tech support to patrons. People are less and less coming in asking for help to find reference materials, and they're more and more coming in and asking for help to use their cell phone, or how to get an email address, how to fill out an application online. On average, we have 100 people a month coming to the library with technology-related questions, and staff are spending, on average, 7.5 minutes with each patron. So it does add up over time. We can be quite busy some days with technical questions. And we have had many requests to offer some technology workshops, and I'm looking at finding some experts that can lead those sessions. These were just some quotes from last year of people that came to the library for tech help. And people are always very helpful, especially older adults and seniors in our community who don't have devices at home and don't have internet, but have to use the internet to apply for grants and subsidies, and they need someone to take them through the process. So operating funds for the library are provided by the provincial government, but more and more our funding is dependent on municipal support. About 79% of our funding comes from the municipality. That includes Madawaska Valley and the contract with BLR. 11% of our funding is self-generated through fundraising, donations, events, and our used book sale. And only 8.5% now comes from the province. Another 2% comes from grants. We typically receive grants for interlibrary loan postage and for internet expenses, and that totals about 2%. We also depend heavily on volunteers to help with library work. In January, volunteers donated 140 hours of their time to run our used book sale, to help process books, um, help with weeding. We've been spending a lot of time in the last year weeding out our collection to get rid of old books, and so we have room to bring in new books and new items to the collection and to make more space. We need more space for programs, for people to come in and work and use our Wi-Fi, or just to hang out at the library and read a book. We've made a lot of community connections over the year. I'm always trying to be out in the community and doing some outreach and bringing the library to the residents. Our Halloween hunt is always popular in October. We participate with the CRC for their toy drive. We collect items for them, and that benefits both MV and BLR communities. We participated with the MV Santa Party. We have our Artists of the Month that display artwork at the library every month. We collected snowsuits and winter gear for Operation Snowsuit through CPAN. And we donated about double of what you see in that picture. So we're always looking for ways that we can connect with local organizations and help the community. October was Ontario Library Week was October 19th to the 25th, and then it is also Canadian Library Month. So we did a little informal survey where we asked people what they liked about the library, and we had lots of amazing comments. People love the staff, the used book sale, our new ramp, our programming, and our variety of books and other resources. I'll just go through our plans now for the 2026 budget. That's a mistake in my presentation there, sorry. So I won't go through every line, but I did want to point out a couple of things. We are asking municipalities for a 2% increase, and this is to help with the increased costs of goods and services. Sorry. Sorry about that. Many of our lines we haven't changed and we've kept the same, such as our programming line and our book purchasing line. Those have stayed the same for several years. Other lines like our hydro has gone up quite a bit, so that was increased. We do have a big event this year that we're planning. You might have seen advertisements for Carly Fortune is doing a gala for the library, and that'll be a big fundraiser this year that we're hoping to put towards some library building enhancements and improvements. And we're hoping to solicit some sponsorship to help with the expenses from that event. We applied for a Canada Summer Jobs Grant, so we hope to have a student again this year. Their help is invaluable over the summer with all of the programming that we do. We'll have regular programming for 8 weeks for children over the summer break to help keep them busy. The wage line is slightly higher. That is to cover the cost of living increase. And office supplies you'll see is quite higher, and that's because I'm hoping to get some new library cards, some professional plastic cards, and they're quite expensive, but they will last us for several years. Let's see. I did reduce our electronic databases. So we're saving some money there. I found we had quite a few databases and resources that weren't being used. So I hope I cut back a little bit this year, and then I hope next year we'll do some research with patrons and see what they would like us to bring for electronic databases. We kept the most popular ones like Overdrive, Libby, the language course, Canopy, which is a movie streaming service. Those are the most popular. We kept those. This also shows the expense for our new computers that we're hoping to purchase and fundraise for. I did cancel Zoom and we'll be using Teams. That saves us a couple of dollars. Our tech support will be high because of the installation of the new computers. We had to upgrade our defibrillators, so that has an increase on our maintenance supply line. And then we're hoping to do some improvements to the building. On our wish list is to paint the interior of the library, to fix the ceiling in the basement. And so we're hoping that the funds from the gala will help pay for those improvements. And I think you can see that we've kept our program line the same. I did put in some money for the fundraising expense. We're hoping to do a little bit of extra fundraising, like sell some library coffee, and some other things to raise a few more dollars. Were there any questions about anything about the budget or any other things?
Thank you for your presentation. You run a real good ship up there.
Thank
I'm
you.
always amazed at all of the things that you offer. And we enjoy having the programming here too.
We enjoy going there to do it.
Yeah.
And it's great to see. It's great to see how many people come to the library as a result of that too.
Yeah. Good. Any questions from council? So you're asking for an $82 increase.
That's right. We asked for 2% from both municipalities.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem.
No.
It's $82.
Okay, well, thank you very much then.
We are looking to buy computers too, so if you feel like giving us a couple more dollars towards computers, we'll take them. Thank you. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Take care.
And it's totally amazing everything that they offer.
Well, no, it truly is, like, I go to the meeting, I had no idea the things that they do.
No,
And Natalie does a really good job.
she does.
Yeah, she really does a good job. Really organized and watches things and, you know,
Yeah.
she's.
And she's good, she's so good at ideas for things to offer, so I feel programming is really good. Okay, so no one has a problem with the
No.
Okay, so delegation, I understand. Mr. McCabe is coming tonight? Yeah. Okay. And we have some minutes. We have a resolution of the council for the corporation of the township of Greentown, Lindop and Ragland. Hereby adopt the minutes of the public council meetings of February 4th and 18th. Special meeting of February 25th. And the regular council meeting of February 4th as presented. Can I get a mover for that, please? Moved by Councilor Banks, seconded by Councilor Clark. Any comments, questions? Okay, I'll call for the vote then, all those in favor.
Yes.
Opposed, none, the motion is carried. Correspondence, we have a resolution of the council for the corporation of the township of Greentown, Lindop and Ragland, hereby accept the correspondence as circulated. And get a mover for that, please. I can move. Moved by Councilor Colfax, seconded by Councilor Kelly. Okay, so anything in there that council would like to have full?
110-3.
Yeah, it was kind
Yeah,
of,
agree.
yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that one too. be good to have the cameras on those stop arms. Okay, so.
I'll go with 10-8.
You can't do that.
Food Act, protecting farmland.
Yeah,
I mean, that's quite a statistic.
Yeah, if you read the statistics.
390 acres a day.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you
Well-
look, if you look where the building's happening, it's all.
Yeah.
yeah, if you look like. I know one area that I always notice if you're going into Oshawa and Taunton Road. But that's all big farms there and they're built right now, like.
The farmland from
Farm.
Peterborough right over to
Yeah.
Oshawa is built up in big plateaus.
Yeah, all of those areas, like, I mean, we don't have prime farmland, but down there. So I don't know,
It'd be good to support it. I agree, I read it.
yeah,
I don't think it's a bad idea what you're talking about with the. With the bail notification program,
Yeah.
yeah,
I looked at all of them, they're all pretty interesting ones.
yeah, they are.
And it's.
So by this, KHR Township has done their comprehensive zoning bylaw.
I can
Yes,
speak to that.
So now they're amending it? And they have some amendments in it?
Through the mayor, KHR passed their comprehensive zoning bylaw 2 years ago. And over the past 2 years, they've been fine tuning and detailing any changes that need to be made, as Lindsay Bennett described in the meeting, that generally after a year, you do a housekeeping bylaw, and you tweak it to where it needs to be. So this is KHR's housekeeping bylaw. I have provided it to our CBO, who's going to review it. It's beneficial for one township to learn from another. So he's going to take into consideration the changes they're making, and we'll also be presenting that to council.
Yeah, because I noticed in there has been some zoning changes.
In particular,
Some big
for
ones,
certain
yeah.
issues, yes.
yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are through the county, but we're looking more so at the building,
Mhm.
CBO end of things.
Yeah, yeah, they have some site specific.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we all,
It's easier to locate and determine, and
yeah,
but there is that possibility of doing that housekeeping bylaw, but to review what they're doing prior to this is good.
yeah, and it doesn't matter how much you look at them and that. It's never going to be perfect.
We do our best.
Yeah, that's all we can do. Okay, so 10, was it 10-1, 10-3, and 10-8? Will be pulled, so it is, the mover and the seconder okay with a friendly amendment for that? Okay. So, I'll call for the vote then, all those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed, none, the motion is carried. We'll move on to 11-1, a letter of support for the Overs governance changes in Bill 68. This is from our last meeting, be it resolved that the council for the corporation of the township of Brunel, Lindop and Raglan support the Eastern Ontario Warden's Caucus resolution regarding Overs governance changes in Bill 68 as attached, and further that this resolution be forwarded to the Minister of Housing and Municipal Affairs, Minister of Finance, EOWC, MPPs and AMO. Can I get a mover for that, please? Moved by Councilor Claude, seconded by Councilor Keller. Any comments or questions? I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed, none, the motion is carried. And we have the one for the sustainable waste management. Be it resolved that the Council for the Corporation of the Township of Brunel, Lindop and Raglan support the Tay Valley Township's resolution regarding collaborative action on sustainable waste management in Ontario as attached, And further, that this resolution be forwarded to the Premium Board, either of the official opposition party in all municipalities in Ontario. Can I get a mover for that? I can move by Council Papal, seconded by Council Names. Any comments or questions? Call for the vote, all those in favor? Opposed, none, the motion is carried. We have a draft survey plan for Shoreline Road allowance folder. The meeting council for the corporation of the township of Brunel, Lindop and Raglan hereby approve the draft survey as presented for the Shoreline Road allowance purchased by Donald and David Barnes. Can I get a mover for that, please? Moved by Councilor Keller, seconded by Councilor Bates. We see the survey. Any comments or questions?
No.
We'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Opposed, none, the motion is carried. We have a consent application. So late. And a land transfer. That we, the council for the corporation of the township of Brunel, Lindop and Raglan, hereby approve the draft survey as presented by William and Annette Thistlewaite for transfer of lands regarding Drone Road and Nordic Lane for the purposes of conditions on consent file B 16824. Can I get a mover for that, please? Moved by Councilor Clark, seconded by Councilor Capel. Okay, you've seen the draft survey, so this is just tidying up. Road titles.
There's also a condition of the consent or something.
Yeah, and it's good that those things come up when there is a severance that, you know, you have the opportunity to get that land through those loans.
Some housekeeping,
Yeah,
housekeeping.
okay, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Opposed, none, the motion is carried. Okay, under financial, we have budget presentation 2026. Ms. Brenda.
So it's through the mayor, presented our budget, draft budget last week, and, this is a summary of, things we move forward. No taxation, with a 2% increase, 1,538,215 revenue for taxation. Payments in lieu, 79,197. Our own funding for 2026, 957,100. It's just a little over 100,000 compared to 2025. OCIF, 402,927. That's to cover our road projects for 2026. Gas tax, 50,828. And other grants, which include the fire grant and the pothole prevention, 102,558.
Just a question, and it's not regarding, are we getting our payments in them?
They are not coming when they usually will come.
But are we getting them eventually?
Yes.
Because I know the city of Ottawa, with the federal government, and all the property and buildings they own down there, and they're not paying their taxes, and the city of Ottawa took them to court. And the judge ruled in the federal government's favor. So that's not very good.
It's not a good message.
Well,
Yes, so now the only thing they have left to do is to appeal it to the Supreme Court. Like, that's a big amount of revenue. I mean, we don't have that much here. But, you know.
How far out in the year we get that? How far they push it?
Payments used to come in November.
Mhm.
Now it's more February, March.
So just before the end of
Their facility.
the end of the fiscal year.
Yeah.
Since our taxes receivable report and for the end of the year, doesn't that?
Mhm.
Yeah,
So you're waiting.
yeah.
Continuing with revenue for fees and services, 260,999. Recreation forces and parks, 37,200. Modernization reserve, $14,060. Money coming from reserves, 248,290. The majority of that being for combination plow roll-off truck, which was budgeted for last year, but the issues that we had, it's coming to this budget again. And other revenue, 20,940 for a total of $3,712,314. Here's the little chart to show where the majority of our funding, 46% for taxation, 29% this year from home, 8% from reserves. Fees and services is at 8%. That is very little.
The taxation percentage is going up over time.
The overview of what is in reserves as of January 1st, 2026. So we have a total of 1,574,455 in reserves as of January 1st. Minus
250.
yeah, and but we're also putting money back
That's right.
into reserves.
Yeah. What's the net on what we're taking out versus what we're putting in, do you know?
We'll put that in the
That's
man side, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay, I just thought there'd be any more there. So, but that's a healthy reserve. And, you know, we don't wanna start getting it, using it, because then you get into buying. Okay,
Part of the reserves too is what we have put in over the past 3 years for elections.
and it's nice that we still have that, $25,000 for policing too, if we ever get.
Yeah.
You know, if, like we did last year, that was pretty awful.
Just an overview of some of the bigger projects for 2026. So on the roads, we've got a combination plow roll-off truck. And the road rehabilitation project for River Road. It's going to be quite a substantial undertaking.
Yeah,
Fire department, UTV. The electrical vehicle suppression equipment and the well rehabilitation at Brunel Station. And general, asset management plan should be completed. As well as emergency management.
and what we shared.
Yeah.
With the waste side.
So just an overview of expenses. So general government, 569,607,000, fire services, 377,578. Building department, 109,800, roads department, $1,840,030. Streetlight services, 3,500. Waste sites, 295,542. And again, the roads and waste are higher this year due to the new contract. Recreation and Four Seasons Park, $130,767. Leasing services, $373,918. Livestock valuers, 1,000, that is unknown for a year.
Yeah.
Civic address supplies, 2,000, library services, 6,857. If council wishes, I believe council wishes to add the $82
Yeah.
for, in the library.
Yeah.
If we could offset it through the donations line.
Yeah.
In the budget, I can make those changes.
Increase this one and decrease that one.
And planning and development at 8,000, for a total of $3,718,599. And there was surplus in 2025 of $6,285. We have a balanced budget.
Very good.
Just a chart of expenses. Roads department has 50%. General government's at 15, fire services 10, policing is at 10% as well. 8% for waste. Any comments or questions from council?
No, that's a good budget. And I mean, it was easy because of the recycling. We don't have to pay for recycling anymore. So that was a big plus. Very good. So we don't have a resolution to, not to the dot, but we have to get the tax and dot out.
We have a budget for, or a bottle for the budget.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Yes. Any questions from council?
So the only point of interest is what you brought up, Val, the delta between what's going out and what's coming into reserves. If we can hear that, maybe at the next meeting.
Yeah, that would be nice to know.
Well, looking at everything, I found at least 75,000 on into.
Yeah, there was different.
There's a few different spots.
But that's okay, that's me. Okay, we have a bylaw to, for special events. And we have a resolution of the council for the corporation of the township of Brunel, Lindop and Raglan hereby adopts bylaw 2026-14 being a bylaw to regulate special events on private property. Having been read first, second, and third time, we thought in the past. Gonna get a mover for that, please. Moved by Councilor Feller, seconded by Councilor Topfeld. Okay, and everyone has looked at the bylaw. Is there any comments or questions or? I looked at it, I thought it was basically what we had.
All I changed was what the definition was.
I think, I think that's pretty good. So, we'll call for the vote then. All those in favor? Opposed, none, the motion is carried. And I would like, if it could be sent out to all the people that get special, events permits from us, so that they're aware of the change that they're trying to Yes, to digest it also. Okay, and we have a bylaw that we, the council for the corporation of the township of Brunel and Falcon Raglan, hereby adopts bylaw number 26-15, being a bylaw to adopt the 2026 municipal budget, having been introduced and read first and second and third time and finally passed. And again, we'll look for that, please. Moved by Councilor Quad, seconded by Councilor James. Any comments or questions? Call for the vote, then all those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed, none, the motion is carried. I'd like to thank staff for all the work they did putting into yes, for me, that budget release. Okay, now we have a motion to go into closed session, that we council for the corporation of the township of Brunel and Falcon Raglan go into closed session pursuant to the municipal act 2001, section 239, sub 2 for the purposes of subsection C, a proposed or pending acquisition or disposal of land by the municipality or local board. Can I get a mover for that, please? Okay, moved by Councilor Papel, seconded by Councilor Banks. Any comments or questions?
No.
Call for the vote, all those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? None, motion is carried. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. You right, you have to take care.
Yeah. And we. Resolution, the council consent closed at 8 p.m. Can I get a mover for that, please? Moved by Councilor Papel, seconded by Councilor Davis. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed, none, the motion is carried. Report from Toes. This council discussion details regarding the proposed acquisition of land by the township for a columbarium. We have a resolution that we council the corporation of the township of Brunel and Falcon Raglan hereby adopts bylaw number 2026-16, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the March 4th, 2026 regular meeting of the council having been read the first, second, and third time and finally passed. And get a mover for that, please. Moved by Councilor Banks, seconded by Councilor Quad. Any comments or questions?
No.
We'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Opposed, none, the motion is carried. And we have a resolution that this meeting adjourns at 8:01 p.m. Can we get a mover, please? Moved by Councilor Papel, seconded by Councilor Banks. All in favor? The motion is carried.